Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game as a preview of Bournemouth against West Ham United on Saturday. We're here with our sponsors, Royal London Watches. Tom, what's your thoughts on our opponents, Bournemouth?
Yeah, I like Bournemouth. I like the way that what they've done. Like, they've come up through the leagues, and I've got a lot of time for Bournemouth. I think it's the smallest ground in the league, and I like Bournemouth. I like Eddie Howe. He's a very good manager. So yeah, I like Eddie Howe. I like Bournemouth.
What's your thoughts on Bournemouth's season so far, Luke? They started quite brightly, but they've hit a poor bit of form recently.
Yeah, they have hit a poor bit of form, but it's a run of games they haven't won in a while, and they're playing West Ham, so it's no better game for them. But yeah, they started the season quite well, and they have slipped form lately. But I mean, all of their games that they play in, there's always goals. So I mean, they're quite an attacking side, but they do let in quite a lot as well.
They haven't won in 8 Premier League games, Bournemouth. They've drawn 3 and lost 5, but they've conceded 21 in that 8 games, Tom. So should that give us a bit of hope, the fact that they are leaking quite a lot of goals?
Yeah, it should do, mate. I also think they haven't scored or won at their ground this year, though. So it's been 2 months, and hey, West Ham then come along, didn't they? They score against us.
They've scored this year, but they haven't won at their ground since the 13th of December. So it's over 2 months since they've won at their home place. Luke, who's their danger man for you? If you were looking at that Bournemouth side, who is it that you're picking out to keep an eye on?
I mean, that Afobe, he's a bit of a handful. But again, I mean, he's not the best player in the world. But as I said, he is a handful. I mean, I know Callum Wilson's obviously long-term injured. He was a really good player. I know he's got quite a few goals against us over the last couple of years. Josh King's obviously in he's in quite good form. He's quite pacey, quite quick. I also like sort of Jack Wilshere. I know he's injured, I think, and so Stanislas, who's obviously ex-West Ham. Quite like those two. But yeah, I see Afobe and obviously Josh King is a bit of a threat.
Tom, do you fear their fullbacks? When I look at Bournemouth, I like their centre mid. They've got Arthur and Wiltshire in there, but I like their fullbacks. They've got Smith on one side at right back, and if I got to choose a right back for West Ham this summer, it would be Smith. And on the left side, they've got Daniels. Do you fear the fact that they can come at us down our wings, which is sort of recently, especially at the right back, that's been our weakness?
Yeah, I fear their left side, but obviously because they're right back, obviously for whatever reason, we're not playing a right back at right back, Gio. So yeah, I fear their left one coming down the right side. But I think Cresswell's got it covered though, the other one, to be honest with you. So yeah, I fear the other side though.
Well, as Luke said, King has got 5 in his last 6, so he's the man to watch out for Bournemouth scoring goals. Last question on Bournemouth, Luke. A lot of discontent over Arsenal. How's sort of slightly been mentioned? Is it too big a job too soon for Howe, or do you think the recent form of Bournemouth sort of put him out of the equation a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. That form shown. He's not ready for it. He's got a long way. Yeah, I mean, you could say the time I think for him to get a real test at a big club, but yeah, not yet at all.
Well, that's enough talk on Bournemouth, plenty of talk on West Ham. But before we do that, the referee at Bournemouth is Robert Madley. West Ham have had him 6 times in the Premier League. We've won 4 of them, believe it or not. We've had him twice this season. Both games were 1-0, and that was against Burnley and Sunderland. Bournemouth, on the other hand, have had him 5 times in the Premier League. They've also won 3 times. So both teams have got a good record under this ref. They've had him twice this year, and they've also won both games. They beat Everton 1-0 earlier in the season, and they've had that entertaining game against Liverpool when they won 4-3. Well, let's talk about West Ham. I asked these two tonight. I didn't ask for their 11s. I asked these two if they both had these 8 players in 11. They said yes. It's yes for me. We're all playing Randall, Creswell, Reed, Fonte, Obiang, Lanzini, Antonio, and Carroll. But the question is, who is the other 3 players that you want to see? Tom, are you playing 4 at the back? And if so, who's your right back?
Yeah, I'm playing 4 at the back, mate. And Byram. It's got to be Byram at right back. I'm sorry. I'm getting fed up. I'm getting fed up of putting, square peg, round holes, all that. But we've got a right back, for him to get perfect, he's got to have experience. To get experience, he's got to play games. So he's got to start playing, and he's fully fit. So we've got to put Byram at right back. We can't keep having Qt there. It was Antonio before that. It was Qt. But it's just got to man up and start putting people in the right position. So it's got to be Byram at right back.
Well, Kiai has played the last 2 or 3 games at right back. Luke, who would you like to see right back? Would you like to see Czech, or would you like to see by him, or have you got another experiment you'd like to see there?
If I'm honest, against a lot of people here, I have gone with Czech because, Byram's had a lot of chances. I mean, he had chances in Europe early in the season, and obviously games against Astra, we obviously lost, and a lot of goals we conceded when Byram's played down his side. Personally, I really don't think Byram's good enough. He hasn't got much about him as a player. I just think he loves a dirty challenge, but he's not one of those that can bomb forward. He's not got much pace about him, which modern right backs should have. I know Sheck's a bit suspect there, but he can do a job just about. We've gone to Southampton and Sheck's played there and we've won. We brought in Arbeloa as well, who's apparently meant to, mature Byram as a right back, but neither of them get a shout. It's just total rubbish, mate. And in the summer, we really need to bring in a quality right back, in my opinion.
Well, I'm also going with Byram, similar to reasons as Tom, but I'm not going to go in depth that. But centre midfield, one of the reasons I've got Luke on tonight, actually, is because I know Tom's opinions and I know Luke's opinions on certain players. And this is the reason I've got Luke on, because of his opinion on a certain player who will come on to in a minute. Tom, who would you like to see centre midfield with Obiang?
I know exactly what you're going to say, Gio, right? Because that's why you got Luke. And I want to see Kute in the middle with Obiang. For me, I've got nothing. I know what you're going to say. That's why you got, because Luke's. I've got nothing against Noble. I mean, but we've got to start putting people in the right positions. For me, Kute is in the middle with Obiang. That's the best pairing in the middle. I haven't seen them play together, I don't think, or maybe once in the summer did we see them play together. We need to, for me, so in the middle, it's Kute and Obiang.
Look, you've obviously got Kiati right back, so I assume you're sticking with Noble in the middle. So do you think he's getting too much? Do you know something? I think Noble's getting far too much stick. I think the amount of stick he's getting, and I know Tom's, I know you're not giving him stick, Noble, but I just think recently he's become a scapegoat, and he's become a scapegoat for us drawing games even. I know we got beat by Chelsea, and yes, he's messed up, but that goal could have been prevented by other people as well as Mark Noble. We shouldn't have had 2 centre-backs up. Obiang could have took out Hazard if he really wanted to. So it wasn't just Noble's fault. But I just think Noble's getting far too much stick. But Luke, are you starting Mark Noble against Bournemouth?
Definitely, mate. If you don't start him, who's the leader on that pitch other than Winston Reid, and maybe you could say Fonse? It means...
Your sound's gone, Luke.
Yeah, Luke, your sound's just cut out. We'll come back to you in a second, Luke, and see. Hopefully your microphone will be working then. What I will say, though, on Luke's behalf is I'm a big Noble fan, but I would actually like to see Fernandez in there alongside Obiang, purely because I don't get the Kiati centre midfield thing. I don't get it. For me, Kiati can't pass very well. He's not the best passer. He's not the best tackler. He's not the best shooting. I know he can run about, but I think we need someone a bit more than someone that can run. But Luke, what were you saying about Noble before your sound cut out there?
Yeah, is it back?
Yeah, it's back now. Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah. As I was saying, it means as much to him as it does to us three. To be honest, that's why I want him in the team. He keeps the ball very well, and people say Kiati, you've got to have Kiati in the middle because he's a beast. He can bomb forward. But at the end of the day, Modiami was a beast. Modiami could bomb forward. It doesn't mean he should be in the side. Obviously, Dean Court at Bournemouth is a tight ground, it's a small pitch, and that's what Noble liked at the Boleyn, and he doesn't have to cover as much ground there. So, I like Noble in the side because he keeps the ball well. He likes the short pass, and if he does go backwards, I'd rather that than muck it up when he's going forward. But yeah, he's the leader of the team. I'm not going to take him out anytime soon.
What I will say, though, is I think Bilic is in danger of doing what Allardyce did to Nolan, and that is Noble has to, in my opinion, play certain games. And at home to do Chelsea was probably the wrong one up against a counter-attacking side. But away to Bournemouth probably could be the right game to play him. But I think Bilic needs to start playing him correctly. Otherwise, this whole thing that we went through in Nolan is going to happen in Noble, where more and more people start getting on Noble's back when actually the manager could really actually do him a massive favour and pick him in the right games. Tom, Antonio Lanzini, Carroll, who's your last attacking player? Is it Snodgrass? Is it Ayew? Is it Feghouli?
It's got to be, for me, it's got to be Snodgrass, mate. Ayu's gone on the bench. I don't know. I don't know really. I mean, I'm struggling to get me around why we bought him. He's a good player, but he's obviously not getting used. So for me, it'd be Snodgrass. Feghouli against Chelsea was absolutely he was terrible. He was one of his worst games. He blows it on cold, Feghouli. I like him when he's good, but he's not good enough, mate. So Fegouli's got to get dropped. Get Snodgrass in on the left or the right. Antonio can play either or. So, but they're my two wingers.
Luke, same question.
Right, I've gone for Antonio right wing, Lanzini top of the diamond, and to be fair, I have put Ayew left wing because look, it's Robert Snodgrass at the end of the day. He's not invincible. He's not our marquee signing. Andre Ayew was actually our marquee signing. So he scored against Watford. I don't care if it's a tap and it got in the right area. Just give him a start. Give him a run of games. He needs a run of games. We paid 20 million for him, which isn't even big money these days. But he's sitting there. He's waiting around. He's probably on big wages. Just play games and see how you get on. And if it doesn't work out for him until the end of the season, just let him go. But I'd like to see him do a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, Robert Snodgrass, really last season, would you say he should be starting for West?
Yeah, it's a good point that actually about Snodgrass last season. What I will say, I'm also saying Ayew because he scored against Watford, but also against Chelsea. We were lacking anyone with sort of balls to run at Chelsea. Ayew come on, got the ball and ran at Chelsea, set up Lanzini, goal. So he's got, in his last two appearances, which were both sub-appearances, he's got a goal and assist, and I think he deserves his chance a little bit. Might be a bit harsh on Snodgrass and Feghouli, because I thought Feghouli was playing okay until Chelsea, and Snodgrass has had a couple of good games and a couple of not-so-good ones, so it might be a bit tough, but that's the world we live in with football, unfortunately. Tom, is this a must-win? I mean, we're now in the sort of dead rubber part of the table where we're not going to go down, we're not going to get Europe, so is it a must-win, or is it still like, should Bilic be experimenting in these games?
It's a must-win, Gio. I'm not going to be happy. People say I'm not going to go down. Look, we're only 7-8 points, I think, above it. Palace, quite a few other teams won the weekend. And they're catching up on us. Yeah, we had Chelsea. If anything against Chelsea would have been a bonus. We didn't get a win against Chelsea. It pegged us back a bit. But all the time the teams below us are getting 3 points, and we're not. We're going to get dragged back into it. This is a must-win game. It's a must-win game. We must win this game. We need to get a big 4 on the board as soon as possible.
Well, 26 of our 33 points this season have come against teams in the bottom half table, including 8 of our 9 wins. We've only won 1 game against anyone in the top half of the table this year. Is that quite telling, Luke, the fact that we're beating those below us but not above us? Does that mean we're in the right position in the league?
Disappointing for me, mate. Really disappointing as a fan, especially after last season. It's not something I'm sort of proud of as a fan. I'm really, really disappointed this season. It's a disappointing stat, if I'm honest, and it shows you that last season we were competing with the big boys. Every single home and away tie we competed, and this season we're not, and it shows we have gone backwards. And you can, in terms of squad depth and squad quality, I've said earlier, I think last season we had a better squad than we do now because you had Alex Song, Victor Moses keeping people up. They were on the bench, West Ham, and we were competing, but not this season. I think, as Tom said, I think Bournemouth is a must-win.
Yeah, well, in his press conference earlier today, Bilic said his next 3 games he wants 9 points, which is Bournemouth away, Leicester at home, and Hull away. I would take 6. Tom, how much would you take? What would be satisfactory for you?
I can't see us losing any of them games, so Hull's going to be a difficult game. Silva's got him playing a really point. Leicester, 5 points. 5 points would be, anything more than that would be over the moon. 5 points, that gets them 38, nearly up to the 40 that I wanted. So, 5 minimum. Tom
says 5, Gio says 6. Luke, what would keep you happy?
7, mate.
It's a fair thing. Keep us unbeaten over the 3. It's 3 teams we should be beating, 3 teams that are below us. Are you confident then, Tom? Don't give me your score prediction, but are you confident for this one?
Well, yeah, I am confident, mate. I mean, you've said about we've beaten teams that are below us in the league, and Bournemouth are below us, unfortunately, for them. So I am confident. And these are the games, as you said, the next 3 games, and hey, look, if we lose all in 3 games, I'm not saying we are, but if we lose them all, we're going to be right back in the thick of it. You know, we can't take our foot off the pedal. We need to keep going to get, as I said, 40. But no, I'm confident, quite confident, Gio. Yeah.
Bournemouth have not won a game against a London team at home in the Premier League ever. They've had 8 games against London teams in the Premier League at the Vitality Stadium. They've drawn 3 and lost 5 of them. Look, are we going to be that first London team they beat, or are you confident that we're going to come away with there?
You got to stop with these stats. They're making me nervous. No, we really should beat Bournemouth, but again, I'm nervous because, as I said, if we take a 2 or 3-0 Tonka, and it's one of those where everyone starts talking about Bilic again, and well, I think we just got to win this one.
Yeah, well, we'll say I'm quite confident as well. Well, we'll say I know what you're saying. Look, I don't get why there is a few whispers about Bilic, and people it started kicked up again after getting beat by Chelsea of all teams. There was people a bit grumpy, but we've only been beaten in 2017 by the Manchesters and Chelsea. So for me, it's nothing to be ashamed of. I think we're doing okay, but I'm confident for this one as well. But score predictions, Tom. What's your score prediction?
I think there's going to be 4 goals. We beat them last year 3-1, didn't we? So my heart's saying 3-1. I think we're going to win 3-1, but then I've said 4 goals, could be 2-2, which I hope it ain't. So yeah, I'll go 3-1. Well,
we've actually scored 7 times against Bournemouth in Premier League. We've never scored in the first half against Bournemouth, though. All 7 goals have come in the second half. Luke, what's your score prediction?
Yeah, I'm with Tom. I've gone with 3-1 as well. 20-1 I saw earlier. So yeah, I really fancy us at 3-1.
I'm gonna say 2-1 for this one. But anyway, you guys at home, let us know what you think. Oh, one last question. Don't go yet. I've got one last question for these two. But you guys at home, let us know what team you want to see in the comments below, or come onto our forum at hammerschat.com. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be back with our live review on Saturday. Gonzo's going to the game. I don't know if he's doing a vlog. He's had a bit of an injury, but we'll let you know on social media on the forum if he's doing a vlog or not. Tom, I forgot about this. I wrote it down, but I forgot. There was a wee rumour on social media this week. Mark Noble at right back. Would you like to see that?
Well, I'm shaking my head. Let's be serious. Let's be serious here. He's not a right back. He's not a defender. If he ends up right back, well, I'll tell you what. Let's do some funny prank or something. You know what I mean? But no, he won't be right back. Well, saying that though, I heard a rumour as well. We had 6 or 7 players play at right back. Different 6 or 7 players, different players play at right back. Hey, nothing's possible. If Bilic's going to put Antonio there, and then he's playing Cute there as well, who knows? He might end up playing Carroll right back.
And that's enough for me.